Hey everyone, Scott here. Today I have some thoughts on Memorial Day. Memorial Day is an American holiday observed on the last Monday of May, honoring the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military. This year we'll celebrate this holiday on Monday, May 25th, just a few short days from now. Now I don't know if you knew all of this, but originally Memorial Day was actually known as Decoration Day. It was meant to honor the Union and Confederate soldiers who died during the American Civil War. By the 1900s, it had become a day to celebrate all American soldiers who died while serving in the military. And it wasn't until 1967 that it was legally called Memorial Day. Now, today, many of us celebrate the day by visiting cemeteries or memorials. We hold special family gatherings and participate in parades and things like that. And of course, unofficially, it marks the beginning of the summer season. Basically, this is a day of thankfulness and gratitude for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. Someone once put it this way, and I quote, "The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude." According to the Memorial Day Foundation, there are specific customs for paying respect to fallen service members on Memorial Day. So we honor them by flying the U.S. flag at half-staff until noon. We also observe a moment of silence at 3 p.m. local time. And of course, we place flags or flowers on veterans' graves. Now, whenever this solemn day comes around in our calendar year, it reminds me of another remembrance that I take part in. And this remembrance, however, is done on a weekly basis rather than just once a year. Every week, I and scores of others around the globe reflect on someone else who gave their all in order to secure my freedom from sin. Who is this individual? He's the Son of God, Jesus of Nazareth. The Bible tells us that Jesus himself instituted this remembrance. And just like there are specific directions given for celebrating Memorial Day, there are actually specific aspects to what we refer to as the Lord's Supper. Two things. First, the bread. We remember that Jesus' body was given for us. You see, when Jesus first instituted this remembrance, the Bible records that he took some unleavened bread, gave thanks, and broke it into pieces, and then said in Luke 22, verse 19, "This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." So each week, when I eat a piece of the unleavened bread, I remember that God's Son became a man and suffered physically in his body for me. He allowed himself to be crucified and eventually die in order to secure my freedom. Second, the fruit of the vine. We remember his shed blood. So if you know anything about Bible history, you might remember that any time a covenant was made in ancient times, it usually involved some sort of animal sacrifice and the shedding of blood. In those long ago times, the blood of animal sacrifices served as a covering for the sins of God's people. This was, of course, only a temporary arrangement until the final ultimate blood sacrifice was made by Jesus himself. That's why in Luke 22, verse 20, when Jesus refers to the cup of grape juice before him, he says, "This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood." Each week, when I drink a cup of the fruit of the vine, I think about how Jesus allowed his blood to be shed so that a new and lasting covenant could be set up between God and his people. Memorial Day is important because it reminds us each year that the freedom we enjoy in this country is not free. It's been purchased at a great cost by the lives and suffering of our American soldiers. In the same way, the Lord's Supper, what it does is it roots us week by week in the nitty-gritty of history, bread and cup, body and blood, execution and death. It stands as a stark reminder, time after time, that Christianity is rooted in historical fact. Jesus lived. He had a real body and a real heart that pumped real blood and real skin that really bled. And he actually died publicly on a Roman cross in the place of sinners like you and I, so that anyone who would believe on him might have everlasting life. That happened once and for all. in history. This year, when you reflect and honor those who gave their all to secure your freedom from oppression and tyranny, take a minute to reflect on the one who sacrificed his all so that you and I could live eternally as free citizens in heaven. Thanks for watching.